What's up, everybody? Welcome to another VPN chat. Now, I am up early doing this one, and I only do this for one person.
My God.
Yes, so welcome to VPN chat. We have the man, the myth, the legend, Quincy Kelly.
Hey, I love that, man. I appreciate that. Make me feel important, man.
Yeah, you are important. You are very important, sir. So of course I have you have to do an introduction worthy of who you are, sir.
Oh man, I appreciate it. I-
How's everything
Beautiful.
going? How's everything going, man?
I'm good, man. It's a beautiful morning. I'm excited. I was excited to get the tap, man. I've been saying so many great things. I was like, man, when am I gonna get a chance to be on the VPN chat? But no, this is great, bro. I'm excited.
Well, this is the episode 13. 13 is actually one of my favorite numbers. So I
Okay.
was like, yeah, and I told you I'm saving specific numbers for specific people. So,
Yeah.
you're one of my favorite
Yeah.
people. So here you go.
Dope, bro. All right, I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
All right, y'all. So Q Kelly has been with me for a very long time. For people who do not know, I know people probably think we just linked up recently, but no, this man was on my very first web series. Um,
Yep.
but before we get into that, Q Kelly, tell people a little bit about you. Me and Quincy met. He was going to Georgia Tech. I was going to Georgia State. So that's how we met. So how did you transition? You play football. So how did you transition from sports and going into production? Because I mean, those are two different fields, but you know what I'm saying. But how did that come together?
That's a beautiful question. Nobody's ever asked me that particular question before. Uh, I mean, again, I got to give my honor to you, brother, because you are actually a key part of how that happened. So while in Georgia Tech, 2007 was the year. A friend of mine that went to Georgia State with you had let me know about a podcast that you were doing. Not a podcast. This is a podcast about about a web series that you were doing called College Daze, and they said you were casting for a role. And at the time, I had a little hobby of acting. Me and my friends would make skits in the dorm room, but I never really had done anything major. And man, we connected, and thankfully that you gave me the role and the opportunity. And I mean, genuinely, the rest is history because that then opened up my eyes to what's possible. I was 100% terrible at acting then. Thank you for being gracious to me. But then I decided at that moment that I enjoyed the arts. I enjoyed being in front of the camera. And fast forward after graduation, I went to work for the man for a little while, and it was cool, but it was not what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I sat at my, it was ironic because it wasn't a terrible situation, but I sat at my desk every day and I realized that this is something more for me. So I left that job, and I wanted to find what that something more was, and I struggled, and I stumbled into production. I realized that that's what I loved, and then I realized that I should have had a plan
Mm.
before I left that job. So I went back to that job, and man, started taking acting classes, started working on my craft, and started learning, becoming a student. Because one thing that is a seamless transition for me from sports to production is the grind.
Mm.
It's a grind, and you only are as good as what you're investing in yourself daily. With sports, there's always somebody who's trying to be better than you. There's always somebody who's going to be better, stronger, faster. So you have to continuously reinvent yourself daily, and it's the same thing with production. And I realized that I had to have a similar work ethic, getting up early, being able to be on time and be on set, and being able to be on set for long hours, and all those things played a part in making sure that I was able to make a seamless transition from sports to production.
Awesome. Yeah, man. That's a good story, man. Like I said, I never we talked a little bit about you getting into, acting and production, but we never really talked about the correlation
Yeah,
of
yeah,
you being a football player and then you coming to the world of acting and production and stuff like that. So
yeah,
yeah.
right. Thank you for asking that question, man. You're a great interviewer.
Don't, hey man, don't big my head up now. Don't do that. But you talked about I want to touch on the thing you were talking about. You should have had a plan. Because that's something else we have in common too. I didn't know that part of your story as far as you leaving your job, coming, going into production and going back. Because
Yeah.
the same thing happened with me, and man, my when I left the news station the first time, my contract ended, and they asked me if I wanted to renew it, and I was just like, no, I think I'm gonna do the filmmaking thing. And I really, it's twofold for me. I'm like, yes, I really feel like I did step out in faith, and I did feel like a lot of things happened, good things happened while I was away. But now that I'm older and looking back, I think another thing for me was leaving because I was tired of the situation as well. And like you said,
Mhm,
I honestly didn't have a plan uh
mhm,
leaving.
mhm.
You know what I'm saying? After I left, I was just like, I'm just gonna leave. I said, this
Yeah,
it. I said, God, this is it, and I'm about to peace out.
right.
So I think just now that I'm older and taking a look back, it was like, yeah, I really should have had something like kind of together, like an actual plan together, before, because like it is hard. Like I said, when you really step out, it's
Yeah,
the struggle is real, like
right,
for real.
right.
So man, I definitely get it. But yeah, we're gonna talk about college days, man. First of all, um, you said you were not that great of an actor. Well, I wasn't that great of a director. So I mean,
Hey,
so,
we were out there figuring it out,
we
man.
were figuring it out, man. That's what I like to say, man. We were definitely figuring it out. I definitely appreciate you, bro, for coming in. You didn't know me from anything. But you
Mhm,
came in because I mean with college as bro, it was honestly, it was just a passion project. I literally had these scripts, and it started off with my friends. I was like, "Hey, I want to do this show," and there was none of these people were actors. None of these people was
right.
trying to be. None of the people were trying to be actors. They weren't even trying to be a part of entertainment, but because they believed in what I was doing and they loved me as a friend, they was all right. We're gonna do this for you, and then going into season two, and of course, we met. Well, I met Monique, Brittany Monique, and that's
Mhm.
that's how that's the connector between us. And for people who never watched College Days, Monique played my girlfriend on the show, and my baby's mom's, and and then Quincy was somebody I went to school with. His character was somebody I went to school with before I transferred to Georgia State, and he continued to torment me. I don't know why.
Ah,
I don't know why he was at the Georgia State campus. I don't know why he was there. And then come to find out, him and my ex started messing around. So that's the story between our characters or whatever. I just remember when I first saw you, bro, I was just like, this guy is huge. I was like, this guy is huge. And I was just like, oh man, like not that you were intimidated, but it was just like but of course, again, it was two factors. I wanted to make sure because you were new on to what we were doing. I was like, let me make sure I know what I'm doing to the best of my abilities so this man don't think, he ain't wasted his time. But two, I was like, I might not have said the wrong thing because this man gonna punch me in the face. So,
ah. Nah, man, nothing like that.
nah, man. But I think it's just beautiful because again, we only did that one. We did that one season together. I
Mhm.
graduated, and it was just like we off doing two different things, and I think it was beautiful how we got to reconnect, man. I think that was dope because you reached out to me, right, about
Yeah, I thought, yeah, because you had posted something on Facebook, and I remember it was like something about Ohio, and I thought you were working in Ohio. I was like, man, congratulations, man. He was like, nah, we shooting in Augusta. But then I think, yeah, go ahead.
no, 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 I wasn't listening laughing, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, because it was a station, like a college station out of Ohio, and they
Yeah.
were airing college days out there.
Oh yeah, got, yeah. See, and I think that's another part of it too. Like at that time, I was so green in the industry, I didn't know what any of that meant. So you know, I think I saw you post something about airing in Ohio, and I was like, oh, you got to be in Ohio to air in Ohio. And I think that's another whole part of the journey that, as we talk about, you know, us figuring this thing out, man, I got stories about that. But that was the beautiful part. I respect you and I appreciate you because you weren't afraid to take the time to figure it out and take the stumbles and take the falls that came along with it to get you to the point where you are today. And I feel like that was another key part of our origin story, was that I'll tell anybody. There's nothing that you can tell me to say that I was not a terrible actor back then. But that was the start of our journey to get us to where we are now. Years of training later, years of projects later, and all those things, and we're able to now say, all right, we look where we came from,
Yeah.
and look where we are now. So
Yeah. My favorite scene, and then we'll move on. My favorite scene from College Days is definitely this is gonna sound bad, but this is when Monique slapped you, bro.
hey man, I got slapped a few times in life, so I'm not. It's no problem at all.
That scene was
If I
hilarious.
could say,
That scene was
yeah,
hilarious to me because I don't know why that scene is so funny to me. I think because y'all was calling each other names, going back and forth, and she just hauled off and slapped you. And Monique loved to slap people.
yeah. Shout out to Monique, man. That's my homie. Shout out to Brittany Monique. That's my homie. Weren't we in a library? Was that the library
It was
scene?
bro. Yes, it was in the library. Bro, I shot, man, shooting College Days. I know I was getting on a lot of people's nerves. I was literally just going in the library, going into the study rooms. I was going any and everywhere, shooting wherever I could. And
So yeah,
yeah.
I really encourage people who listen or watching this to go back and watch that episode, because this we were in the library, so we were whispering. So we were whispering our lines. So because you didn't have no permit, and we were just in there shooting, and it was just like, we're gonna be quiet. So nobody. Oh man. And it was like an intense
It was
scene.
this, yeah. I remember that. We was literally, bro, my hair looked a mess, bro. I was like, I don't know
Oh
why.
man.
I was like, what is going on with these braids slash mini locks? I don't know what was going on, bro. It was just,
Bruh.
it was so much going on. So
Yeah,
much.
it was a time, man. It was a time.
Jeez, not the whispering. I remember that,
Yeah,
bro. I
yeah.
was like, y'all, okay, we're gonna do this scene, y'all, but we can't be too loud. You gotta, you gotta.
Oh man.
Oh, Jesus. All right. So the next project that you was after we reconnected, um, you were on Karma.
Mm-hmm.
Hey man, playing Derek Gibson on season 2. You were Karma's sister's ex.
Yeah.
And talk about that experience, man. You coming in, you came down to Augusta, filmed your stuff and everything. So talk about your journey with Karma and just your how you experienced everything, like what you enjoyed and all that good stuff. Or what you
Yeah,
didn't
man.
like, or what you didn't like, whatever.
Oh man, I think it was a great experience. So at that time, so that was the time when I actually had decided I wanted to pursue this thing for full-time professionally. So I was in the learning phase, man. Again, another time where I appreciate you for giving me the opportunity, because I think as actors, we don't granted the fact that we get to be in front of the camera, and you always gave me that opportunity, and at a time where you saw something in me. And I remember at being on Karma and feeling that was the only time in my that was maybe the first time in my career that I felt like I needed to get better. Like it was some moments, and I appreciate you stretching the character where I felt like, man, I got to deliver this better than I can. I got to go deeper. So you ignited a fire in me to wanna learn and to wanna understand how to develop different emotions and how to tap into the scene and how to read between the lines and read the subtext and understand that. Like that was a lot of what I learned while we were shooting Karma. And it was also a time where it sparked my interest behind the camera of producing, which for those who don't know, plot twist, I produce now. I'm a producer mainly. Um, but that was also a time where it's like, okay, I also enjoy seeing what's happening, how they're setting up the shots and how we're making this scene come together. So that was dope, man. I really enjoyed Karma. I hate it had to come to an end.
Man, I've talked about that show so much in a few VPN chats. And then I've been mentioning saying that a lot of people really enjoy that show. And I'm honestly shocked that people enjoy that show. And not because of anything you all have done, but it's just for me watching it, I'm just like, yeah, that could have been done a lot better, you know.
Oh yeah.
But like you said, man, we grow, we evolve, and so of course you're gonna look back at the stuff that you've done, and you're like, we can be very critical of ourselves. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
know at least I can definitely. So, um, yeah, like I said, that show was definitely a learning show for me. You know, I definitely learned how to pivot on that show.
Yeah.
There's a lot
Right.
of things, you know, there's a lot of things happening behind the scenes that, you know, we had to, you know,
Sure.
had to do. We had to make some
Yeah.
changes, and you know, but that show quickly taught me how to not stick with just plan A. So sometimes you got to have a B and a C, you know, if you want your vision to come to life. You know what I'm saying? It might not be your original vision, but if you are still trying to have an end product, you got to make sure you have specific backup plans in place.
For sure. For sure. I think you're the
Yeah.
master of that, man. You definitely were always the master at making sure no matter what you got to that end goal, which again is another testament of you, man, because a lot of people don't finish. A lot of people don't finish where they start. You are adamant about that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm gonna bring this up.
All right.
I'm apologize in advance.
Awesome.
Um not to stick your chest out. Um so if Lover's Lane was definitely my first venture into more mature rated things, but Karma was my first actual I think I want to say a preview to what we did. And that actually starts with you, sir.
Mm,
So
okay.
I just want you to know that scene with Derek and what was Tina's character's name? I cannot think of her name.
Yeah.
Yeah, that scene against the wall.
I know exactly. I
That
know the scene exactly what you're
that
talking about.
scene got a lot of people attention. Honestly, you know, bro. Honestly, that scene is the reason why some people hit me up. Was like, "Oh, I want to build a show. I want to build a show."
Wow. Hey, it was an intense scene for sure.
Yeah. So, I just want to say, sir, thank you for being the precursor to what we started doing now.
Hey man, listen, however I can keep the needle moving, brother, I'm here. Got your back. I didn't know that though. I for some reason I felt like you had already been doing those type of yeah, I didn't
No,
know
I
that.
mean we were doing it, but it wasn't to that extent. It wasn't to the close up angles and all this other stuff, and
Yeah,
to that
yeah.
intensity of
Right.
actually showing the you know, the act of it, you
Yeah,
know.
right.
So
Just for everybody, we didn't do anything. We didn't do it.
no,
Just
they did. They did. This is not a pornography set.
yeah, 100%
Con-
accurate. 100%.
Contrary to popular belief, since people always want to
Right.
act, people want to always ask me, are these people doing it for real? No, people, they're not.
Right. Right. Nah.
I want you to touch on that though, because again, since you have had experience in doing those type of scenes, talk about the unsexiness of it, because it's not like
Yeah.
y'all are actors. I mean, of course, y'all are making it look realistic as possible, and making it look as sexy as possible and appealing as possible. But in reality, it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah, I mean, I think that so I'm gonna go ahead and put myself in the same name. Damon Idris said it best in an interview once when he had to do a scene in a movie with what's the twins? The twins that sing together. Haley and
Oh,
what's but
Chloe
yeah,
Bailey.
Chloe Damon tried to do that scene. But I mean he mentioned it perfectly. It's so uncomfortable. It's nothing like you would, you got people watching you standing in front of you. You got a director saying cut, all right, stop, turn this angle, do this. It's a very technical process. So it completely takes away any idea of there being intimacy in the moment. And so that's what I think about. And I tell people all the time. But of course, do what you feel comfortable with. But as far as it being something that's like, oh, am I going to want to be with this person after this? Isn't that, you don't think about that. You think about all the people that staring at you and doing your job, honestly,
Yeah.
more than anything. So shout out to Tina though. She's a great person.
Yeah, Tina is dope. And why can I not
Yeah.
remember? Why can I not remember her character's name? I
I
cannot
cannot.
remember it. It's
Yeah.
It's Melinda. Melinda. That's what it
Yeah,
is.
yeah. Yeah. Right.
It's like a million characters, bro. I done created, and I know people be like, "You don't remember anybody?" I'm like, bro, listen. Once it leaves the dome, it leaves the dome.
I understand, brother. I understand. Listen, you pay more than I have, and yes, I get it for sure.
Here's another thing. You probably gonna I'm gonna apologize for in advance. We have to talk about the failed project that never happened.
That's what I thought you were going. I thought you were going there a
Yeah,
moment ago.
we are going there. We
Yeah,
so
yeah,
Quint
yeah, yeah.
so
Uh-huh.
Quincy and I, and along with another production partner, we were going to do a show called Lovers and Friends, and we had a whole audition process and everything, and we had casted, and
Oh,
yeah, and it just didn't happen. It was like
yeah,
the week after, it was like we're gonna scrap this project.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it was, man. I'll say again, another leg of learning on the journey. That hurt. I was sick for a little while about that one, man. But I also then realized the learning lessons in that was order of how you do things and making sure certain things are in place.
Yep.
But also now, being so many other projects in, you realize it's not as uncommon as you think. Unfortunately, in the industry, sometimes things just don't come to light. But that project for sure was one where it hurt, man. It hurt not to be able to go through with it, and it hurt to not be able to deliver what we wanted to deliver or what I wanted to deliver.
Yeah.
Um, and thankfully we were able to mend and do other projects together and do stuff. But that was definitely a learning curve on a lot of things. And if I could stop, because I'm gonna go, I do want to talk about this to
Go
all the
ahead.
producers out there, because I've been having these conversations a lot recently. When you're producing, you always want to produce with what you have in hand.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and so what happened with that project was that we had some investors that were committed to investing. But then once we cast it, like he said, we had locations, they pulled the investment. And so we were left with like, oh, we have no money to shoot this project. So
Wait, are you talking about Lovers and Friends, or are you talking about the Oath?
I thought we were talking about the Oath.
No, we're talking about Lovers and Friends, bro. We gonna get to the Oath.
Oh,
We gonna get to the Oath in a second.
oh, dang.
Yeah,
Going
that was the web series before I did Lovers Lane.
Lovers and Friends. Okay, yeah, I see the order you're going in there. I
Yes,
see how you're
yeah, yeah.
yeah, my bad. Let me go back. Oh yeah.
He
The
about to
other
say,
project.
he about to say, yeah. I wasn't so sick about that
Oh no, I was sick. I was so that one I was sick about, to the point of just not being able to honor the commitment. And I think that again, are you editing this? Are you going?
one.
Is
No,
this gonna
man,
be?
this is all raw, bro. It's all
Oh,
raw.
okay. Okay. I
It's all
know.
It's all
It
good,
just
man.
is how it is. Gotcha.
Loud,
Well, yeah,
loud.
I think with Lovers and Friends, that was, man, you took you back on that one. Yeah. That was I think it's very important for artists as in general to identify who you are from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, because it's unfair to anybody in the process. That was a conflict of interest at the time where I was going through transitions in my life and trying to figure out stuff. And um, we had a conversation, and I felt like that project wasn't something that I felt like suited who I was trying to be at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And so we didn't go into production.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, again, that goes back into the order. Same thing with the other conversation about the oath. It's about the order of how you do things. You gotta be able to honor your commitments, but you also got to be able to look yourself in the mirror and make those decisions as soon as possible with respect to those others that are involved.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely think at the time we had a little bit of a sour patch, a falling out, if you will. After that, because I could
It
have my
was
brother Carter. Go ahead.
well, no, what you going? I'm finished. I'm sorry.
I said my brother Carter was kind of heated at me. Um,
I think I was more so. I was upset, but I was more so like, dang, we really wasted these people's time. And that's one thing I really hate to because I tell people all the time, bro, like you can always get money, but time you can never get back. And so time is a valuable asset for me. And I hated that we went through that whole process and it was like, dang, nothing came from it. Well, I'm gonna say nothing came from it because actually Lover's
I,
Lane came from it. Because like a few people that came to the audition, I ended up casting them for Lover's Lane. So um yeah, everything. I feel like everything worked out how it needed to be. And it's funny because I remember you hit me up. You was like, is that why I got run off the show? Because you thought I was mad at you because
oh yeah,
because of
yeah,
karma. That's you thought. I was like, nah, man, it ain't got nothing to do with it, man. I'm just going with the story. We ended up.
yeah,
It was a lot of transitions going on with that show, bro. Um,
yeah.
so I just want to say that had nothing to do with the failed project of Lovers and Friends. I'm publicly saying that had nothing to do with it, even though you are insistent that it does.
No. Listen, man. We got
You were insistent, bro.
back then, yeah. But at this point, in hindsight, but I do want to say this too to that. Like you said, what I have realized too is that no time is wasted. Uh, like even if at the moment, because at the moment I definitely know that I didn't understand. It was a lot. It was very tumultuous,
Mm,
but I do honestly feel like if I would have swallowed it and continued further with the project, it wouldn't have got what it was supposed to get because I wasn't authentic in it.
mm,
Um, and I do like life. I was just, man, talking to my son about this. Life is full of tough decisions, tough
yeah.
moments, and you got to be honest about those moments and take whatever comes off of that moment, and then know that no matter what, you were honest about it. And like you said, Lovers Lane was able to come off of it. But of course, never want to waste anybody's time, but I definitely want to encourage everybody out there listening to this right now. Always, 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 don't shy away from the tough conversations
Hmm.
and be true to who you are. Um, because if we're not true and authentic to ourselves, we're just holding up ourselves and those around us. So
Yeah. I agree. I definitely agree with that sentiment. Definitely, you definitely want to make sure that you are being 100% authentic in anything that you do. Um,
yeah.
and when you're doing that, just make sure you just taking it. Like you said, the longer you wait, the worse off it's gonna be. So I want
Mm-hmm.
to say to you, I appreciate you, even though at the time I was upset. Looking back at it, I appreciate you for your honesty. Because
Yeah.
like you said, man, things could have just definitely went left if things would have continued on. Because eventually, like you said, if your heart's not in it, it's there's no value to it. You know what I'm saying? So I think, and I know, because God is all knowing. So he definitely did his big one on that. I think, again,
Yeah,
even at the time, you know, it caused a little friction. But we here.
did
We here
did yeah,
though. We here.
right. Oh,
But that's a testament to our friendship, bro. I think, like you
yeah.
said, it's important to you're not always gonna be in the ups on the friendships. You're gonna have downs too. But I mean, if it's a true authentic friendship, you're definitely gonna take some time and then you come back.
Mhm.
So, you know,
Yep, exactly. Yeah, and that's what we did. Now we will say this, Carson. You can say that you didn't write me off karma because of that, but you definitely didn't let me get on Lover's Lane at all.
because I already knew what Lover's Lane was, and I knew you weren't going at the time. You were not going to do that, Quincy. You was not doing it
Oh,
at the.
I just like with you,
I
man. Like,
I knew you. I was like, nah, quit, nah.
that brother
They,
ain't asked me to come by set. They come back. They asked me to come. Oh man, but I think also too, man, and not to belabor the point, but no, this is a part of the journey too, man. You have to trust also when you have these conversations in the relationship that you build with people. You echoed it, man. You have to have those conversations as soon as possible, though. That is the one thing that I do the regret that we could have had a conversation earlier. But yeah, man. So I appreciate you. Continue to rock with me still, man.
I mean, I appreciate you rocking with me, bro. I mean, listen,
Yeah.
it's a two-way street over here.
Hey, listen, man. We are about I don't know how many minutes in, but I know I didn't even ask. Is my audio okay?
I, I'm definitely not editing this, like at all. I'm not editing this out. No, like, your audio is perfectly fine, bro.
Okay, good. I just realized I'm like, man, I didn't even check my audio.
um.
Oh
Okay,
man.
so let's move on, man. So the oath that was before we did redemption for Easter or after?
Yeah. No, that was before. That was before we
Before.
did.
Okay,
Yeah.
so with that being said, so now you can go into your speech about the oath, because
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
another project that didn't happen. Unfortunately, we had, and it's crazy because it comes up in my memories. I'm like, dang, bro, I said, this is gonna be amazing. We had the whole table read, and it
Mhm.
was, and when I tell you, my bro Quincy is one of the most mainstream independent producers I've ever met, bro. No, and I mean that as a compliment, bro, because it's like you truly, this man gonna have the signs, he got the nameplates, he got the scripts all laid out. It's man, I'm telling you, bro, you are definitely, and I mean this truly from the heart, and as a compliment, bro. You are one of the most top-notch professional mainstream independent producers that I know. Cause
I
you gonna treat everything like, yo, we doing it like the big boys, and I appreciate that, and I always look back and I'm just like, man, this man is amazing, and with your vision for how you see things, um, on a grand scale is amazing, and it's inspiring because it reminds you. It honestly, when I look at it, I'm just like, no, Carlton, you're not doing a little project. This is something. This is a for real. Even though it's independent, you still got to treat it as like the people in Hollywood would do it. So like, I appreciate you, bro, for always thinking big when it comes to even the little small things. So I definitely appreciate that about you. Um,
appreciate that, man. I
yeah,
appreciate that. I'll say that going back to your first question about my my transition from sports to the arts, that was kind of always instilled in me. Back in high school, you practice and prepare like you're gonna play on Sunday. You practice and prepare like you're gonna play in the majors in a professional. Excuse me. You practice and you prepare like you're going to be playing on the next level. So then that way you become on the next level before you know it. And that's my whole vision, man, and my whole desire. Like I do appreciate everything the independent market is allowed, but I want to be able to compete with the majors. I want to be able to, when people walk on our sets, they don't know what if it's $100 million budget or It's a $2 million budget, or even $200,000 budget, or $200 budget. Whatever the level, we're able to produce the same quality of experience.
Mhm.
And I think when we produce that quality of experience, it raises everybody on set. It puts everybody on the notice that, okay, I got to bring my A game when
Mhm.
I'm stepping in front of the camera, or when I'm lighting this scene, when I'm behind this camera, whatever the case may be. So, I appreciate that, man. And that was, I would say, that was one of the reasons that it hurt so much when that didn't work out. Because this was it, because we talked about it. We were like, okay, this is going to be our statement piece at the time.
Yeah.
This is a project that we do together, and we're gonna put everybody on notice. And as I mentioned before, we cast it, we had everything, we had the table read, but the funding fell through, and they decided at the very last minute they didn't want to do it anymore. So
Yeah.
that hurt. That definitely hurt.
Yeah. I agree that project definitely for sure. That was a tough one. I remember when you told me about the investors pulling through. That was a tough conversation. Not anything as far as between us, friction between us, but just the whole. Once again, man, it was just hard letting the actors know like we weren't doing it, and I was just like it was just that was
Yeah.
rough. That was rough for me. And you know what's funny, bro? Even to this day, and shout out to Mara Gale, man. She's such a beautiful person. Um, Even to this day, man, she still is like, Carlson, I can't wait to work with you. I'm so excited because she was supposed to be in the movie. And
Hmm.
she was like, yeah, I'm so excited. I'm ready to work with you. And it's just to this day, and I still think about that project. And even though I'm in a different phase of life right now, um, I'm gonna go on record in saying this. If something were to happen, I would not object to still producing the project.
Yeah.
So I'm
And
going on. I'm going on record saying that. I know a lot of people be like, "You're not retired. You're not retired." I am. But um, if someone were to say, "Hey, I'm going to give you this to make that come to life," then I will be there on set to make sure that it happens. I ain't picking up no camera, but I would definitely be on set to make sure that that nah, for real, I would definitely produce that project because even to this day, I think I read it recently and I was just like, this is a good project. Like it's
yeah,
still to this day a really in 2024. It's
yeah,
still a good project and it's still needed, bro. Like it's still crazy things happening with our community, and people need to still see the project, man. I still believe wholeheartedly in it, but that's another conversation for another time.
that's it, man. I think I mean, it really is those ones that got away. It doesn't matter that we did so many projects since then. It's still the fact that that one got away.
Yeah,
And I think about it too, man, and I'm with you. We've had these conversations. We don't want to. I guess we don't want to put all out here now, but
yeah,
definitely, if the stars align and we can get that to go, man, I would still. I think that's a forever timeless piece too. So I would still be open to doing it. But you
yeah.
know what I think too? I think also kind of going back to what we were talking about earlier. I also feel like the timing of it, like at the time, yeah, we were ready. We wanted to do it, but a piece like that, I don't think we would have done it justice because it was going to be a lot of learning that
Mm,
went,
mm.
and I guarantee we would have fumbled some part of production, some part of the process. And I think about that too, a lot of stuff. And I was watching an interview with Ice Cube. They were talking about when the NWA came out, the
Hmm.
movie, and they was like, "Why? So why now? Like, why now?" He was like, "We ready. We're finally ready to do it." And I feel like that's at a certain point, like we get to the points where, all right, we know that we know the caliber it takes to create a project now.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, and even we also know the shortcomings. Then there was a little bit of naivete in a part of the process where you're like, okay, we can do this, but we didn't fully know what it would take to get it done.
Yeah,
And I think again another part of the journey, and also maybe God protecting us and saving that project, because it'll happen when it's supposed to.
I agree. I definitely agree. Looking back, like you said, looking back on it, man, I definitely think we've grown a lot more. We're more
Hmm.
mature. Um, you know, I think like you said, I think if we would have probably I think we would have done it. It would have been it would have happened. Then we would have got the
Right.
job done, but I don't think we would have pulled it off to its full capacity like it needed to be
Exactly.
pulled off. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I agree with you, man, on that. You saying that, I agree. Yeah, man, God is again doing his big one, and you know, making sure that things are properly aligned how it needs to be, for because that project deserves that.
Exactly.
And by the way, that project name did change. It's no longer called the Oath.
Yeah.
So once that project actually happens, I'm going to go ahead and say it. Once it happens, I know everybody. Like, it was funny. People gonna get on me because I've been saying if like for everything in these
Right.
last few chats, but no, this one right here, this is a win. When the project, even if I'm not on it, when the project happens, it's gonna definitely make the impact that it needs to make. For
Hmm.
people who watch it. So yeah, man. Like I said, that project's always gonna be there. It's there.
Yeah.
It's there
Yeah.
waiting. So, but that brings us to redemption for Easter, man. And I have to definitely give you and James Johnson a shout out, man, because y'all came down to Augusta, bro, and y'all definitely, man, like I just have no words, bro, man. Like, that was y'all really came and y'all really helped the brother out, and I definitely appreciate it, man. Like because I got the call from Maverick saying they want to do an Easter movie, but the deadline
Yeah.
was real quick, and I was like, all right, I can write it. I mean, there ain't no problem writing it, but I said producing it, and I was already a few films in with them, and I was like,
Hmm.
I was like, I'm gonna need some help. And so, and Quincy, and I'm gonna say this about you too, bro. Quincy um, always willing to lend a helping hand. It was just me accepting it. That was the issue. I will say I have a problem asking for help, and I have a problem receiving help. Um,
Mm.
that's something that I've had to work on and work through. So I had to swallow my pride on this when I said, "Yo, I really am going to need some help to pull this off," because we had to shoot it in that week. It had to be done because the deadline was so close. Like I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna need some help." And thank God, I swallowed my pride and I reached out. So I appreciate you and James for definitely stepping in and helping out with the production of that project.
Well, I mean, I think also, man, the grace in that is that look at it. We just talked about kind of what happened before we got to redemption for Easter. I mean, we had some fails before we got to that win. And again, I think that's another testament to kind of how the journey goes. I appreciate you continuing to have faith in us. After that, after the lovers and friends, after the oath, because I think we did a great. I mean, we shot that in 7 days.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, man, but even I remember me and James leaving Augusta feeling so inspired, feeling so I mean, we were hyped, man, because being able to see, like, you had already been doing banging them out, banging them out, banging them out before that. And for us, that was like our first time really, putting that time in for that period of time. And it gave us a new desire. So I feel like redemption for Easter crawls so the wake up call can walk. And
Mm.
so other projects that we produce could walk. And I definitely, man, appreciate you again for setting that tone, man. I tell you all the time, you're a tone setter, you're a pace setter. Um, and so I appreciate you continuously setting that pace for us.
Oh man, you man, nah.
Yeah.
They say I'm bad at taking compliment. I'm gonna receive it. Thank you. I'll take it because
Appreciate
I'll
that,
just
brother. Thank you.
yeah because I'm so quick to you know just come back with another one because yeah I just like I said I this that's why I created VPN chat, man. It was honestly for me to give flowers to the people that I work with and everything, but I also have to learn how to receive them as well. So
Mhm,
that's another
mhm.
thing that's another thing that I'm working through and working on. So yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why it's hard for me to take compliments. I don't know why. It's really hard for me to take those.
Hey, man, I understand, man. It's, you know, I don't know why either, but I understand.
But no, man, that project special. And I talked about this with Chantel, man. That because the acting was so phenomenal to me, man. Like everybody came in and just really they grind and they really came in and became those characters. Man, I talked about that. That was my first time actually crying on set.
Mm,
When Chantel did her monologue, with shout out to Audrey, Miss Audrey, shout out to her, man. When they did that scene, it was in the bedroom. She was talking
yeah,
about being raped and everything. Like that was the first time I cried on set. It was because that scene was so heavy. I was like,
right.
and like I said, the way Chantel delivered it, that was just it was powerful, man. That the energy in that room was just became overwhelming, and
Mhm.
and then even the scene, the dinner scene, the final dinner scene, when everybody's talking about Easter and things like that, and it was like I said, man, that whole that week was an amazing week, and I learned so much. Um, I just learned so much from everybody, but especially from you, the importance of communication, um, the importance of communication, and definitely understanding. Because sometimes we we listen to respond versus listening to understand.
Yes,
And
sir.
so I learned the importance of listening to understand and
Mhm.
making sure people clearly understand what you're saying, and also being making sure you understand what you're receiving.
Right, right.
Um, so that's something I definitely learned that week, and I learned from working with you and James that week. So once again, man, I just appreciate y'all so much um for that project. That project special to me because not just because of the message, but because of the lessons that were learned during that week.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. Definitely was lessons learned on both sides, for sure,
Yeah,
for sure.
definitely, man. All right, next thing. What is the next project that we did together? I guess it's For the Love of Christmas too. Is that next?
I think
I
so.
I feel like we're skipping steps, but I mean, maybe. I mean, because y'all, me and Quincy, no, like, okay, so everybody that do VPN chat with, of course, we have a relationship, but like me and Quincy are like friends. That's my bro. Like we
Right,
literally talk like almost every day, like almost
right,
every, like so.
right.
Maybe we talk a lot, but we just don't work together a lot. I think that's what it is. That's why I
I
feel like
think
we
it's some
skip.
other ones there.
That's
Yeah,
why I feel
yeah,
like we skipping steps. I was like, I know we did something else together, but what was it? But I guess it was For the Love of Christmas. So I guess that was the next thing.
yeah. I
So
mean, we definitely done other stuff together. I mean, you came over to the One Accord world and worked on stuff, and but we can, you know, even Chicago. We ain't talk about Chicago.
oh no no
Uh,
no we gotta talk about that because I talked about it with Risha. We gotta talk about Chicago. So
okay,
yes, we went to Chicago. Shout out, yes, that was a fun time.
Lord.
We did a woman's worth, the
Mm-hmm.
one act play version, and we got the opportunity to go to perform in Chicago. And I definitely we just definitely just told this story, but I'm willing to tell it again. First of all, the trip was amazing
Yeah, it was a time, man.
for the most part. For the most part, it was
Yeah,
amazing. Um, uh, the drive up there was cool. Like me and you actually drove up there.
yeah.
Um, Erskine will claim that he drove up there too, but Erskine did not drive up there.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you. This is on record. We're gonna make sure we send this soundbite to him so he can remember. I can
Erskine,
send
not,
it back.
Erskine did drive in Chicago. Though I will give, he did drive, but Erskine did not drive up to Chicago. I remember
Right,
specifically it was me and you.
right, right.
But nah, time was had, man. We had a good time, man. But but bro, so and like I said with Rachel, so we're doing so for people who didn't listen to the interview, Rachel gonna listen to the story again. So if you did listen, you'll get it twice. But if you didn't hear it, here's the story. So we're on stage, y'all, doing this production, and we're doing a fabulous job too. Like we know we tearing it up,
It's
right?
amazing.
You know, and mind you, they gave us only 20 minutes, and we had already timed it. I think the play was like 19:30 or something like that. But they had me get up there and do this stupid, silly introduction, and I didn't know the introduction was a part of the time of the play, and it was so silly, it was so dumb. So I'm literally delivering my line, and we're almost at the end.
Was that close? Yeah, closing
We
out.
was
Yep.
at the end, towards the end. They cut the lights off on us while we were on stage,
Yep.
and I could not believe it. That never happened to me before in life,
Auditorium full of people. Yep.
and I was just like, "This is really happening." So we got off the stage. Then I'm backstage having to fuss at the janitor because she fussing at me, talking, so you're not supposed to be in this room. And I'm like, y'all put me in this room. And so it was the whole thing. And so they was like, y'all want to come back for it was a weekend workshop. I'm gonna put quotations on workshop. Weekend workshop. And they was like, y'all want to come back for the workshops? I was like, no, we're not coming back for the workshop. We about to go check out Chicago. We about to go get this pizza. We about to go get this popcorn. We about to go look
Yeah.
at this. We about to go look at this the bean that everybody be talking about. We about to go and explore the city. We not coming back to this doggone workshop. Then we
Yeah.
then yeah then we came in third place. We should have came in first, but whatever.
Yeah. You know, I think it's it's great because that's you get to find out who your friends are in moments of crisis, and that was kind of the first real crisis that we all kind of endured together. Everybody had their own little reaction to it, but I just remember my man from the theater saying, "Hey man, we want to extend an olive branch to you." It's like I don't want that olive branch. My man Carter was 10 toes down. It was a wrap. But no, it was. I mean, it was definitely, especially because we had been rehearsing for so long before then.
Mm-hmm.
And we took the whole cast up in the van. I think it's like really setting the like we had to drive from Augusta or Atlanta to Chicago to
Mm-hmm.
do this. Then for that to be the outcome, man, it was crazy. But again, shout out to my brother Erskine for being a part of that, and then Rachel and everybody else that was in the production. And
Yeah.
we got to experience Chicago for the first time at that point, and it was great time.
Yeah, like I said, that's why I said overall the experience was great. Overall,
Yeah.
it's something I will always remember. Like it's this the group of people that went. We're always gonna have that, no matter
Mhm.
what happens in life. We're always gonna have Chicago, and it's funny because we'll bring it up in conversation. Like if a little sects of us are together, we'll bring it up in conversation. We'll talk about
Yeah.
just and only we'll know what we're talking about because we were the one that experienced it.
Man, let's do a reunion. I see saying it, man. Let's go ahead and get this reunion to on deck, man. Let's plan this when the kids out of school for the summer, man. Let's go. No
I'm here for
kids though.
no, yeah, yeah. Listen, I'm here for it.
Yeah, man. Let's get the
I'm
band
definitely
back together.
I'm here for it for sure. But yeah, that was definitely an experience. So yeah, so for the love of Christmas too.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was an exciting time because for me, that was the first time that I did not do any production. Like as far as the cameras and the lighting and all the other stuff. So it was actually the first time that I actually was the director. Like literally, I mean, I directed the other stuff, but I'm also doing everything else too. So this is actually the first time I actually got to actually do the job of the director, and that was it. Um, but what I loved about so we did the first movie, we did For Love of Christmas 1. And I don't remember exactly. I said I want to do the second one, but I'm not exactly remembering the conversation that transpired of how One Accord got involved in it. I know I asked, but like, how did that? What was the conversation that took place? I don't remember.
Yeah, I think yeah. If I what I remember mainly was we opened the studio, and we were like, man, we got to do something together. And I was telling you about all the things that Douglas had to offer as far as production value and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, man, if you ever have anything you want to shoot here, we can do it. I have to shout out the BBI students, the Bridge Builders Initiatives students. Shameless plug, BBI is One Accord's nonprofit organization, but when Carson said he didn't have to shoot anything, that those students, they stepped up and they were able to just really do a great job on the production. Kelsey Corbett, Melvin Williams, Isaac King, Princess Harsbrook, Zainab Temple, Brian Jackson, Chase Kelly. So I mean, they just did a phenomenal job, and they made it easier for all of us, I feel like, and they were committed and they were there. So, but yeah, I think it came about. We had that initial conversation when you came to the grand opening, and then it just kind of was like, okay, well, I got something in mind, and then For the Love of Christmas 2 came, and we took it into production.
Yeah, man, and it was just, like I said, it was just a beautiful thing, because we had, like I said, from the first one, we had the Aretha Jr. character, and I was
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, we definitely need to. The second one needs to be based on them and where they're from, and yeah, and I was like, Douglas would be a perfect place to shoot it. I'm all about shooting on locations, man. I love doing that. So we definitely
Yeah.
we brought it was Donald, Nicole, Sharmika and Ron. We came on down to Douglas, man, and we shot that thing. Shout out to Danita too, man. She was definitely a big help
Yeah,
on the set as well, man.
you got
Um
to edit that. The meter shine. Got to cut that in and put that. Oh, she gonna kill me. Oh
Nah,
no.
man, nah, bro. Like, but
I
that's
was
why.
thinking about the students.
Yeah. You think first of all, you think about the students, but side note, that's exactly why I hate naming folks because you do forget. You be like, there's so much up here. But nah, we shout out to Danita for sure. Because
Yeah.
she definitely was very instrumental with the production. And she cooked.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
She cooked. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
threw down in that kitchen. So man, I would say Danita was definitely mom,
Yeah. She does that
the
work
set
well.
mother. So
Right.
we definitely
Right.
appreciate you for sure. But yeah, so we came on down to Douglas, man, and once again, Q Kelly's gonna Hollywood it up, bro. It's like Q Kelly. We came to the studio. The name plates was there. We got the scripts. Um, again, it was for me, man. It was beautiful. First of all, I was at the grand opening of the studio. I was there. So that was already beautiful to see you in that element of opening up your first studio. But just actually seeing you with your team, um, that that was like I was proud. Like I
Yeah.
was like I don't consider I'm not gonna say father. I was proud as your production big brother.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was like, I said that's my bro was doing it down here. Like it was a beautiful sight um to see how you was operating and everything, man. That was a joy for me to be able to actually be in your element
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just see you work, man. That was beautiful. And I met so many amazing people through you. And I'm so appreciative of the relationships that I now have, with
Mm-hmm.
with your production and you but you've always been so open and welcoming to say you always I know you always say this. You say, "Bro, what I got is yours." And I appreciate you being so willing to and being so open, you know, with who we're and what you have, bro. So I definitely appreciate that, man, for sure.
All love, bro. And I think for me that's what gets me up in the morning, man. It's the excitement of being able to connect people, being able to look up, like I think even I seen you and Bobby Huntley talking a few times on social media. Like I love that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
I love being able to say, yo, let's two dope people I know now know each other. That's amazing. Now that y'all doing dope stuff, that's amazing to me. So man, that was one of the best things I loved about For the Love of Christmas too, was just the levels of residual effect that it had for everybody. Of course, we were able to create a dope project, but that was, I feel like, at the bare bones of it. Like, so many people got there can now say that they have worked on a feature film because of what you wrote and what you brought to life. We were able to showcase Douglas. We were able to do so many things and so many different levels because of that moment. And that's what I love and appreciate, man.
Yeah. It, I
Yeah.
it was definitely beautiful. It was definitely the production went seamless. We finished early. We finished a
Mm-hmm.
day early.
Doesn't happen.
Um,
Doesn't happen.
yeah, yeah. So in hindsight, I wish we'd have used the extra day, and you know why? Because you already know we talked about with Ron and Sharmika because we there was a scene that we
Yeah.
had to we had to redo.
We could have used that day to review footage and then make sure we have
Right,
everything.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But that's the process of learning and growing, bro. That's a process
Mm-hmm.
of learning and growing. So we definitely know, you know, if there's the next time, we definitely know. But
Always.
no, but yeah, man. I think overall though the project was beautiful. Like I said, overall it was just. I have to just again it was the like you said the movie itself. We got it done beautiful. That's the foundation. It was the relationships and just the lessons of the week for
Right.
me. And I know
Right.
for me, I'm gonna be honest with you, and I know y'all sense that a lot of people was joking with me about it, especially your people. But it was like, Carson want to do something. He want to do something. Like 'cause I felt like I was itching. I was like not.
Oh,
I was not moving. Um,
right.
but it was. But like, again, it was just amazing to see how you. It was. You're an amazing teacher, bro, and it was amazing to see that your students and these are grown people, by the way. I want people to understand this. These are adults. But your students, they obviously um they retained everything that you taught them because they were just moving. All I had were points, 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 all these other technical terms and all this other stuff. I was like, man, this is amazing. But I still want to
Yeah.
do something. Why am I not why am I not moving anything? And the thing was, Quincy and the students would not let me touch anything. They would not let me do anything. Like they was like, no, you're not doing it. You're gonna direct. That's it. Sit down. Quincy was quick to bring the monitor for me, like for me to look at. He was like, let me get some eyes, bro. Let me get some eyes, bro. It was like it was amazing. Like I got the
Yeah.
hang of it. I got the hang of it eventually. You know,
You
the
did.
first
You did.
the first few days it was a little rough, but I got the hang of it.
I remember looking back one time and you were laid on the couch. I was like, oh, my brother's comfortable now. He's finally relaxed. But I do want to go back real quick to something you said at the beginning of like even with like, okay, we could have used that extra day. That's what I kind of want to like really drive home to all of us that's in production is realizing that we got to take the maximum learning lessons from every production and
Hmm.
then apply them to the next. And that's how we get better. Like that's what I see is the only difference. It's a couple of differences from the independent market to what the major studio production. One, of course, budget. That's a huge thing. But also more importantly is the amount of um retaining of best practices that you take from one project to the next. Like we're not sitting around saying that, hey, okay, we did that, that's cool. We're saying, no, how could we have done that better?
Hmm.
How can we do better next time? And now we continue to do better and we continue to get to create better content. And that's what I think is our job as producers whether it's independent producer or studio producer, wherever you at. And I feel like we are on the way to doing those things.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. But like I said, man, big shout out to just you and your team, bro. Again, for the love of Christmas too. That's a special project that's always gonna resonate. So I
Yeah.
definitely appreciate you. Before I let you go, because I did skip a project, I thought about it as you were talking. I know Quincy's mostly producer, but we're not gonna let him get off of here without about shining his acting light because this man is on Sisterhood 1 and Sisterhood 2. And we gotta talk about that real quick because bro, like you're an amazing actor. I know you said you was rough at the beginning. We all was rough. But like I said, just coming into Sisterhood, you playing that role, playing first starting off as well, I don't want to give Sisterhood 2 away, so I won't say what you are now, but you Elder Cedric Brooks, you coming in. I want you to talk about coming in playing that role for Sisterhood. We're not giving stuff away for the second one because we got the second movie coming out this year, but and you're in that too. But talk about your role, playing that part.
Yeah, so I do want to kind of put the timeline together too on that because we're talking about now 2007, we do College Days
Mm-hmm.
to now, what was that, 21,
So,
22?
I'm looking at my wall now. So, Sisterhood came out in 2019.
2019. Okay, okay. All right, yeah. So that's 12 years for me that I feel like it was my duty to get better in. Like I had to become I felt like at that point I was so much more comfortable with developing character and really identifying the moment in the scene. And it's just so many things that I felt like I had evolved in. So my mindset going into that was different to the respect of I had a job to do. I had to bring your character to life as best as I could.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved it, man. I loved it. And don't get me wrong, let me make sure it's all clear. I love acting. I still love acting. If anybody want to book me for anything, hit me up or hit my agent up, or we let's work. I'm just let me.
This man was on Chicago PD.
Hey man,
This man was on Chicago PD.
I do my yeah. So I still love to be in front of the camera, but what I don't love, and this kind of segue, I don't love waiting for opportunities. I
Mm-hmm.
don't love waiting for somebody to tell me when I can do something or when I can work. So I appreciate Carlton for always hitting me up and saying, "Hey man, I got this opportunity," but also us creating so many projects together. And when it comes to like Sisterhood 1 and 2, man, beautiful job. Seeing your evolution as a writer, director, you've gotten so much better over the years, which is as everybody, like again, we went in the library whispering in an intense scene. But so being able to be, have a bedroom scene in the actual bedroom, like
Right.
um was important, and having, being comfortable enough in that moment to be able to go into the character fully, being able to be an elder and actually shoot at a church, not at an
Mm-hmm.
office building that we tried to turn into a church or anything like that, but it was an actual church. So all that played a huge part in me being able to feel comfortable with being a character, man. And but also again, bro, your evolution has helped me to evolve and helped me to become a better actor, producer, and anything else I do.
No, I appreciate you, bro. Yeah, man. We like I said, um we did Sisterhood. It was originally a series in 2019. Then Maverick wanted to turn into a film, so then it came out. The actual film version of it came out in 2021.
Yeah.
So here we are, 3 years later. We shot Sisterhood 2 last year. It's coming out this year.
Yeah. I was like, I
So
thought we shot Sister too recently, but I
yeah,
was like,
we
okay.
shot Sisterhood 2 last year. Um, like I told Rachel, and I'm gonna tell you this, bro. You and Rachel are fire together. I loved y'all's chemistry together as husband and wife. And again, I don't want to not giving away what happened in Sisterhood 2, but just that scene, that conversation that y'all were having when the two big revelations happened, and I loved how you humanized Cedric. even though Cedric and Amelia are in the church, they're still human and they still have emotions and feelings and they still have real life that they have to deal with. Sometimes, not saying you don't ever lose Christ. You don't ever lose that. I don't want people to get it confused. You don't ever lose Christ. Once you have him, you always have him. However, we still have that human nature in us,
Yeah,
right? And so sometimes that human nature comes out, especially when situations happen. And so I loved how you all humanize those characters. And like I said,
yeah,
y'all's chemistry together is amazing. It's definitely
yeah.
amazing.
And I think, I mean, a couple of things to that. One, I love working with Risha. Risha is amazing, and I think even like there's something to say when you're able to build chemistry with somebody over a period of time because if known Risha since what 2014, something like that, when we
Hmm.
went before to Chicago, and I love that we were able. I feel like I know her. I feel like we were able to connect. And I think that's so important too when you go into a scene, especially when you're playing somebody's spouse. Like knowing that person is so important. And so I think me and Risha are phenomenal when we're able to do that and we're able to work together. Write something, man. Write us something so we can do some more work together. Yeah, he's not even listening.
No, I'm
Yeah.
listening. No, no, no. I'm listening.
I'm just
I'm,
playing.
I'm so listening.
I'm just playing, man. But I definitely felt like that. I mean, me and Risha on camera are perfect. But also, when it comes to all the actors out there, you wrote a character, and I had to really understand who that character was, and I had to understand and develop a backstory for that character. And as an elder in the church, I didn't want to that person has nuance. That person has levels. That
Hmm.
person came from a place. Nobody came out the womb as an elder, and like, and that was thinking about that and the character and thinking about not only in that moment, but what was his plight to get to that point. And I feel like Reese just always does a great job of pulling that out too and helping um, to make that easier. But yeah, man, I appreciate it. And I think, I mean, this is no one to get too much into religion, but I definitely think even though we have God, sometimes we can lose him. Sometimes we can not lose him, but lose ourselves in the process of the journey. And that's difficult sometimes too, that slow stray away. But we're not here to talk about religion.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I mean, yeah, I mean, just in our relationship. I mean, we could touch real quick. Just in our relationship with God. No, you never lose God. You never lose Christ. You never once you like I said, once you have him, you have him. But you do have those moments where you have those moments where you do let go of his hand.
yeah,
But the
agreed.
but the beautiful thing, and I know this sounds crazy, but even though we let go of his hand, he never lets go of ours.
He's always right there with this.
So,
It's
so
yeah, yeah.
that's the beautiful thing about being in relation with Christ.
Hmm.
That's the beautiful thing about that, man. So, yeah,
I agree.
I said if we're gonna touch on it, we're gonna touch on it, bro. I mean, hey,
Hey, you can chat, baby.
um, but yeah, man. I like I said, I definitely I'm looking forward to the people seeing Sisterhood too. I'm looking forward to that for sure. And I want to say this: I loved how Quincy, um, because I actually in the script. I wrote the script in a specific way, and there were certain things I wasn't going to have Cedric say, and I loved how Quincy was like, "Nah, bro, I really think he should say it like this. I think he should say this word." And I was like, I said, if you're comfortable, I'm fine with it. I was just trying to be, I was just trying to keep it a little PG a little bit. But I mean, I was like, if you wanna go there with Cedric, we can go there with Cedric. If I said that's what you feel the character would do, because you're Cedric in this moment, then you know, have at it.
Yeah. And I appreciate that, man. I appreciate, the respect on both ends. Because I think that speaks a lot, man, to the relationship that we've had over all these years. And but even like, yeah, as an actor, that's one thing I've learned. First of all, of course, learning to be grounded in who you are and know who you are. But then in that, knowing how to evolve into somebody else, because you have to be somebody else for this character. Can't be, it can't be because of Quincy wants to do this or Quincy doesn't. Like, what does this character truly need and develop? So that's why I think it's so important from the beginning, going back way back to our beginning of this conversation, knowing who we are from the beginning is crucial to being able to be a great actor, and developing characters. So
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Quincy, I definitely appreciate you, man. We're gonna wrap this up. Is there anything that you want to say? Any encouraging word that you may want to give to people who may be watching or listening to this?
start. I mean, my biggest thing is right now, and that's kind of feel like this is the phase of my life. Like you said, I am loving the fact that the teacher role, Bridge Builder Studios, we will be starting our acting and production classes back up here very soon. So everybody be on the lookout for that. You can follow us at BBI Studios on social media, Bridge Builder Studios, Bridge Builder Studios on Facebook. But more importantly, man, as we talk, if anybody takes anything from this, take away the journey, like where we started to where we are now. Going from Chicago to the library to all that stuff to the failed projects. I feel like it has helped both of us to be very successful in what we've done and put a lot of stuff, get a lot of projects done. So I just say start. Don't be afraid of what you don't have. The journey will provide as you move forward. And that's it.
Awesome. Well, bro, I appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much. And just for the record, I was listening. People was I just want people. I don't want people to think I was ignoring Quincy. I was not. People like to blow up my phone when they know I'm doing these podcasts and stuff. So I was like, why is my phone vibrating? Why is talking?
Listen, I get it, man. I was trying to, bro, the whole time. I'm like, why these notifications? I thought I turned everything off. I'm over here trying to go in and figure out what notifications are still on. So I get it, bro. I get
it. And also for the record, none of this will be edited. You're gonna get all the full thing, man. Because this is the beauty of doing this. It's the authenticity. Just the conversations. I did this. I wanted, again, we still gonna keep it. We still got the production of it, but like I said, I didn't want to put too much production work into it. I wanted people to really get the true essence of this conversation, man. And these things happen. You forget names sometimes. You forget production sometimes. You just things happen. So we're just gonna rock with it. But that doesn't mean that we don't love you less, and that we don't love what we do any less either. So that's
sure.
what that is. Sure. But Quincy, bro, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for taking the time out to talk, man. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, man. All right, y'all. This is VPN Chat, and we'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.